Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alexander Kazina, aka Cozy Bear, and this is Pitch Perfect, the only game show on the internet where two teams compete to deliver me the perfect pitch. Tonight, I'm joined by an assortment of faces, both familiar and new to Respawn Aim Fire. On the red team, we have Kyle Stevenson.
Hello.
And, of course, joining him on the red team, we have almost had some Discord issues right at the front, but we were able to resolve them, John Hansen.
That's me, the Discord master.
And competing against him, we have Mario Rivera.
Hi.
And joining Mario Rivera, we have Samson, whose last name I don't know and I should have asked ahead of time.
It's not that exciting. It's just Lee.
All right. Thank you very much, Samson. Not that exciting. Before we go any further, I'm behooved to remind everybody watching or listening in at home that this production you're currently enjoying is part of a series of monthly rotating shows that we do in addition to the Respawn Aim Fire podcast, and that you can enjoy new installments of the show a month early if you subscribe to us over on Patreon over at patreon.com/respawnaimfire. Now that we've got that all out of the way, let's get this show on the road. Pitch Perfect is a semi-improvised game show inspired by Kinda Funny's Debatable, in which two teams of contestants will pitch me various ideas that I'll rank against each other on an ever-growing top 10 list. Previously, when we first started doing the show back in 2023, the winning team of the evening would be whichever team managed to get the most pitches in the list's top 5 slots. With a new year comes new rules, however, which is why starting with this episode, we're switching over to a point-based scoring system. The first spot on the list will now be worth 10 points. The second spot will be worth 9. Third spot will be worth 8th, and so on and so forth. And the team that manages to have the most points by the end of the game will be crowned victor. Clear as mud? Good. Then let's get even grittier than mud and talk about gritty reboots. It's a tried and true concept. Take a franchise that's past its prime, inject it with enough grimdark to kill a space marine, and sell it to the 12 to 17 demographic. There's nothing quite like them, which is why tonight I'll be tasking the 4 of you with pitching me gritty reboots of various video game franchises. In the show's first round, which we're starting right here and right now, both of your teams will take turns pitching me a total of 10 gritty reboots, which, based on their quality and creativity, I'll be ranking on the aforementioned list as we progress. Once all 10 pitches have been said and ranked, I'll read off the list as it currently shakes down, and we'll move on to round 2. But wait, I hear you ask. What games are we specifically going to be pitching? You told us ahead of time not to bring any material to the show. Indeed, I did. And I did that because you will be choosing the games that you will be pitching gritty reboots of from my new and improved and super patented topic board. With a flick of a Stream Deck button, I can make the 21 games that I've assembled on the board light up in rapid succession. You tell me where it is that I want to stop my selection, and whichever game the light up stops on will be what you have to pitch. Everything clear as mud? Everything good? We ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right.
All set.
Cool. John, I'm going to give you the honors to kick things off for the evening. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring ourselves over to the topic selection board.
All right.
And you're going to tell me when you want me to stop the selection so that you can be given the first video game franchise that you will be pitching a gritty reboot of.
Okay. Stop.
Hey!
Oh.
You got Cuphead. To give you just a little bit of a buffer so that you can think through how it is that you're going to do this pitch, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let all three other people select their first selections as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to return to the topic selection scene. Okay. Mario, I will go ahead and I will allow you to choose next. Give me just a moment so that I can set up the thingamabob. Right. And you tell me where you want to stop.
No whammies. Hold on. And stop.
Congratulations.
Ooh, that's what I wanted.
It's a hell of a delay.
Mario Rivera got Wordle.
Ah, great. Is there a trading cozy? Can I trade?
I will allow you to trade with whatever Samson gets, but only with what Samson gets.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
All right. Kyle?
Yeah.
You're up next.
The hell of a delay, buddy. I know. I wanted Wordle so bad. Stop.
Congratulations, you got Punch Out.
It's good. Okay.
That's solid. We can work with that.
I was aiming for My Name is Mayo.
I haven't heard of that.
Eventually, as we narrow down the board, we'll eventually get ourselves a My Name is Mayo. But before we get there, Samson, you are up next.
All right. Let me know when it's spinning. I'm gonna leave it all up to RNGesus.
Oh
all
God.
Right. Stop.
Hold on a sec. Sorry, I accidentally hit the wrong button. Sorry.
I was like, oh no.
You get another free spin. Go ahead.
All right. Stop.
You got Splatoon.
Oh, that's perfect.
Nice.
All perfectly legal. All right. Perfect. Okay. We're turning over to our contestant scene. John, are you ready to make your pitch?
Okay. What's my time limit on this?
There's no set time limit, but I feel like if we're spinning our wheels a little bit, I'll ask to wrap it up, get it over with quick. I won't show that real annoying Game Award sign, but I will very slowly and gradually know that my patience is rapidly dwindling. We good?
Okay, Dad.
All right.
Yes, I'm ready to disappoint you.
Oh.
Perfect. All right. Go for it.
Okay. So, a gritty reboot of Cuphead. Who here has seen the show Hell of a Boss? This is kind of what I'm going into this thinking. Because in the original Cuphead, we have Cuphead and Mugman who lost their souls to the devil. And then they have to go out collect contracts from various people that also sold their soul to the devil. And the whole game is about getting those contracts back. In my version here, instead of being forced into this, Cuphead and Mugman are hired assassins. They are going out to kill these people with their finger guns. They are directly just out to kill these people. It's their job. It's how they get money. They don't really care what you have to say about anything else. Like, this isn't the lackadaisical Mickey Mouse early day era cartoon that you see in Cuphead on Netflix. This is dark and gritty. They're cursing. You've got the Grandpa Teapot who's over here. Maybe he's dying. Like, he's on the side. He's coughing and he's like barely hanging on. But Cuphead and Mugman are just trained killers. They are out to take out any soul that gets in their way. Yeah, that's about all I got off the top of my head, really.
I'll say up front, that's a good, simple but good pitch. Do you have a name for this pitch?
Oh, I wasn't thinking of a name. Let's go. Oh man, that really puts me on the spot and I wasn't ready for it.
It's not a problem. The name, I mean, sometimes every now and then a name can like really sway pitch and really just tickle my heart, but so long as it's effective and to the point, it's not a big deal.
Cuphead, Mark of the Killers. Just
Cuphead, Mark of the Killers. I gotta be honest. For a name that you clearly came up with just right on the spot right then and right there, that is actually a really good name. Good job on that one. Of course, because Cuphead Mark of the Killers is the only entry that is currently on the list, it is going to go at the number 1 spot, which means that right now, our only team that currently has any points is going to be the red team with 10 points. And it should be updated
Nice job,
right
John.
now.
I'd play that game.
Give me a moment. There we go.
Oh, looks like we're out of time.
Oh.
Guess we're the winners.
Well, hold on a
Give-
second. Stop.
Sorry, give me a moment.
Bortle's got something to say about that.
The video game reboots sheet should be. Oh, wait, hold on a sec. Sorry. This is all my fault. I have a very arcane and complicated way of doing this, and I had completely forgotten exactly how I was supposed to do it. All right, there we go. And voila.
Ooh.
Cuphead Mark of the Killers is now at number 1.
Fancy.
Had a little animation. I like it.
Oh yeah. All right, Mario, are you ready to make your pitch?
Yeah, sure. I've been cooking it.
All right.
It needs a lot more steam, but
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so of course we all know the super popular original game, of course, Wordle. My pitch is Wordle's great and all, being a puzzle, but what if it was a psychological thriller? And what I mean by that is you're trying to solve the Wordle of the day, but just suddenly just some crazy stuff just start happening to your phone. Your mom just starts calling you. She's asking you where you've been, why she hasn't heard from you in a while, and then you just, all you're trying to do is just solve the Wordle puzzle, but all this craziness just starts happening to your phone. All right. Like, that's what I think should be, of course, my version of Wordle. Wordle, have you called your mother lately? She's worried about you. That's the subtitle.
All right.
Your mother's worried. Wordle, your mother's worried.
Okay, Wordle, your mother is worried. That's what we're going with?
Yes.
All right. Wordle,
That's scary by itself.
Your mother is worried.
That's great, Mario.
Yeah, it's, I'll be straight up honest right here, right now. When I was putting together the list of various topics for you all to choose from, I definitely, went a little bit tit for tat. I populated it with a few topics where it's sort of easy to imagine how I could make a gritty reboot out of said franchise. And I definitely put in a couple of, I guess, more eccentric, jokey answers in there. You definitely had quite the hurdle figuring out how to make a gritty reboot out of Wordle, but you did a good job. That being said, I think that Cuphead Mark of the Killers was a little bit more full-fledged of an idea, all things considered. But that being said, we are only down to 2 pitches right now, which means that despite that, Wordle, Your Mother is Worried, is going to go at the number 2 spot on the list. Which means that red team now has 10 points.
Way to go.
Yellow team has 9 points. All right.
Can I quickly tell you my idea for Wordle, Mario, if I got it? Imagine the origami killer, but every murder scene, there is a letter. Maybe it's yellow, maybe it's green. I don't know. You got to figure out where it belongs to catch the killer. That was my idea.
Yeah.
That was good.
If the obvious one wasn't already done by Gary Woodda, then I would have done that one.
That's fair.
All right. Kyle, are you ready to make your first pitch?
I am very ready.
All right. Let's hear it.
Sports. What do they all have in common? They've all suffered through some widespread cheating and scandals. So let me present to you the Punch-Out version of Blitz the League. We're calling it Punch-Out TKO. Okay? You, for every match that you win, every purse from a boxing match that you win, you then get to use that money to bribe the judges to give you higher scores. And also you will get bonus points for biting ears off, hitting below the belt, weighted gloves. If you get to choose what kind of weights are in your gloves, what kind of metal they are, depending on what you choose, you get bonus points. So maybe you put some titanium in there, you get +5 to every right hook. And it just goes on and on in that way. You claim to be the champ, and then all of a sudden, you got good old goody two shoes Logan Paul, who's the end boss, and in this one he cheats way more than you do, so you have to out cheat the cheater. And may I present to you Punch Out TKO? That's my pitch.
Punch Out.
I do like that you added ear biting into what used to be Mike Tyson's
Exactly.
Punch Out.
There's got to be some
That
sort of
was
legacy
brilliant.
there.
Yeah. I can see the vision.
Punch Out TKO. You know, I was really impressed with this pitch. Not only did you have a short but very kind of compelling story to go along with this pitch, but you also went into a little detail of what the kind of gameplay mechanics of this new and reimagined version of Punch Out would look like. For that reason, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to rank this one at number 1 on the list.
Nice.
Congratulations.
There we go.
I know. I'm just sensing a little favoritism towards the red team. Just a little bit. But you know what?
Well,
Samson's going to come in and crush.
Don't worry,
That's
I
all.
got it.
we're only 3 entries into the list. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Samson, are you
All right.
ready to say your first pitch?
I am.
All right, let's go for it.
My pitch. All right. So, how do we make Splatoon one of the most family-friendly shooters more edgy? Well, I say we go full edge. So, I'm introducing Splatoon. In Splatoon, this doesn't take place on I forget where the city Splatoon takes place. This takes place in hell. And in this hell universe, there has been a civil war, and what Satan or the devil has suggested is, hey, let's play for it. So the new goal of the game is to cover the most amount of hell land in your team's blood as possible. And this blood is probably just going to be different shades of red, maybe a cherry red to a dark red. And it will be demons shooting each other and spraying the ground with their blood to show Satan that this is our land and we are the better group in hell. As for the streetwear, we don't go with cool hip hop streetwear anymore. We're going with all goth wear. You got eyeliner, hoodies, ripped jeans, fishnets. As well, the duo announcer that always introduces you to the game will make it a little devil and angel that sits on your shoulders.
Wow.
So that is my pitch for Splatoon.
I gotta be honest, I really love this pitch. I love just how many different bases you covered. Obviously, you talked a lot about the gameplay. You talked about the hub world. You talked about even nitty gritty, very kind of detail oriented things like the 2 announcers, the 2 divas being an angel and a devil. I mean, I gotta be honest, guys. I know that I've done this a couple of times in a row now, but I think we have a new number 1 on the list.
Let's go.
That's right. Splatoon is going at number 1, which means that red team and yellow team are both tied at 17 points.
He just combined 2 games that already exist.
Everything's red? That's going to be confusing.
All right. Let's
Different
go ahead
shades of red.
and let's return to the topic selection scene. Samson, last time you selected last. This time you are going to be selecting first.
Sounds good.
Are you going to leave it up to RNG, or are you going to try and be strategic this time around?
See, I left it up to RNG because I'm kind of scared of getting the Mayo game. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll see.
I'm not. Give me the Mayo game.
I'm
ready.
ready. All 3 of those. Don't be scared. It's fine.
All right.
Stop.
Okay, I wasn't prepared.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess you have NBA 2K. All right. Well, I guess that's that. Kyle, are you ready to choose next?
I'm ready.
All right. Perfecto. Give me just a moment. All right. And let's go ahead and let's start up that good old selector.
Stop.
I hit the wrong button again. I'm sorry. You get another
Okay,
freebie.
no, you're okay. You're okay.
Kyle, when you said stop, I immediately went to where is my mind?
Ah.
Where is my mind?
Stop.
Congratulations. You
Nailed it.
got Frogger. All right. Mario, You ready?
All right, here we go. For
All
all the
right.
beans.
Give me just a minute.
Stop.
Hold on. I literally, my hand was literally in my pocket when you said that. That's on me.
Okay.
That's on me. All right, you
Okay.
get another freebie. Tell me one.
All right, give me a second and stop.
Congratulations. You got Skylanders. All right. John, we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty. I am going to reset the thingamabob. And I absolutely assure you that my hand is not in my pants this time. So you can go ahead and you can choose
All good. Mine are.
with confidence.
Stop.
Congratulations, you got Donkey Kong. All right. Samson, you ready to pitch your gritty reboot?
All right. For NBA 2K, I feel like I got an advantage the last one because I went last, but now this is real off the cuff. Okay, NBA 2K, it will have to be a yearly franchise. So I think that every year for NBA 2K, the gritty reboot is that for every point that the opponent scores on you, the controller vibrates so hard in your hand that it hurts. So the gritty incentive is that there is a pain negative reinforcer on the player every time you get scored on. Now, it also comes with an accessory that if you score, you actually get a nice shoulder massage.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
But if you get scored on, the controller shocks you. As well, in universe, every time you lose a game online, it'll cost you $1,000.
Oh, wow.
So,
Real money. Real money.
So the grittiness is, I guess, 2K. Or who makes 2K games? Is it 2K?
2K is
yeah.
2K.
Okay.
Yeah, NBA 2K
They
is
are
developed by
really-
2K. Well, 2K games, technically.
They are really trying to milk our yearly basketball fans.
Okay.
Name of the game. Dang. Is there a call a friend?
NBA, what's in your wallet?
Oh, NBA 2K dollars.
NBA 2K dollars. Wow. Okay. I'll say up front.
It's hard.
That is a great name. Good job on the name right there. It's tough, right? Because how do you do a gritty reboot of something like NBA 2K? And I feel like you did a pretty good job. You leaned into some unexpected avenues that I couldn't have anticipated, bringing actual physical peripherals into the mix, mixing a little bit of pain and pleasure and the kind of deep concern of accidentally losing a lot of money out of the blue. I'm going to go ahead. And I'm going to put this one underneath Cuphead, Mark of the Killers, but above Wordle, Your Mother is Worried. Which means that yellow team is slightly in the lead with 23 points and red team has 17 points. All right.
Yeah. My initial plan was to put it in hell again, but then I think that's just Space Jam. So I don't think that would work.
All right.
Different shades of red.
Yeah. The court.
Kyle, are we ready with our second pitch?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's hear it.
When you think about Frogger, a classic IP, a classic character, it's pretty one note. Just crossing the road to get to the other side. But this game is going to be not even a retelling, a narrative visual novel game about the Frogger's lineage and family history, where young little Lionel the Frog watches every single member of his family make the trek to a better life on the other side. And every single time, they don't come back. So now that it's Lionel's turn, that he is the oldest to go and find riches and make his life better for his family and this the great grandkids and everyone that is in the Frogger family. uh he's dealing with anxiety and depression and a need for or asking the question, is this all worth it? So let me introduce you the visual novel Frogger game called Frogger Forlorn.
That's
Roger
strong. I like it.
Forlorn. So I'll say up front, I really love what's going on narratively in Frogger Forlorn. Him dealing with depression, him dealing with these, very, relatable themes and a very relatable family situation. I think there's a lot of great content there. I think it might even be, dare I say it, the strongest story pitch that we've heard tonight. Where perhaps I was wanting a little bit more was in the gameplay department. I was kind of hoping I could hear a little bit more about how we're going to gridify the classic Frogger formula, but still a very strong pitch. I'm going to put this at number 3, underneath Punch-Out TKO and above Cuphead Mark of the Killers. And there we
Okay.
go.
All right.
All right, Mario, are you ready to make your pitch?
I believe I am. I did want to clarify the nature. Is this program past PG-13? Just double checking. We never got a full answer. We got sort of more of a wink. I just want to double check.
You can go
Just want to make
as
sure.
dark and dismal and grim, dark and gritty and excessive.
You know you
as
didn't
want.
get My Name is Mayo, right?
I'm not gonna, because I could go places with this one, but I'm gonna hold off a little bit, but not too much. Yes, of course. I'm ready for my gritty reboot of the Skylanders franchise. Of course, mine total reboot. We're going back to the beginning. We're starting with the one and only Skylander that we all know and love, Spyro the Dragon. All right. He's moving into this new sort of beach town with his family and his brother and his mom. Some situation happened where they came from. They're going in, they're moving in, and he ends up getting in league and in touch with some really not so savory dragons, right? They have like really cool like jackets, and some of them don't wear shirts, but like really cool like fizzle out hair. There's a guy on the beach, a dragon, as you will, that just like does with a saxophone. It's crazy. But anyways, essentially, he gets in league with them, and turns out he starts doing some bad things. He's riding motorcycles. He's like out there doing different, traversal puzzles where he doesn't want to be doing. He has to collect all these collectibles that he doesn't necessarily want. He is forced to drink one of the Skylanders' blood at one point. Crazy hardcore stuff happens in this game. All right. Eventually becomes a vampire dragon. I can't explain it. You're just going to have to play this game and make sure that you stay for, of course, my game, Baddest Dragons.
Baddest Dragons.
Comes up with the game. I can't explain it.
Sorry, just
trust me.
Just for the sake of clarification, is it Skylanders Baddest Dragon or just Baddest Dragon?
No, we're rebooting it. We're just calling it. No. I'm sorry. Skylanders, the reboot, sponsored by Bad Dragon.
Skylanders, the reboot, sponsored by Bad Dragons. I got that all correct?
All right. Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot going on in this one. Yeah. I mean, the part
may or may not be the plot to Lost Boys. You never know.
The part where he has to drink the blood of one of his fellow Skylanders, I mean, that was pretty intense. A little bit weird that he's doing that before he becomes a vampire in the timeline, if I'm understanding that correctly.
A little weird.
Yeah.
But they get into some stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this game definitely scores high on the gritty scale. I think... I don't know. I'm not totally feeling this one as much as some of the other pitches. That being said, I will still put it above Wordle, Your Mother is Worried. So it's going at the number 6 spot, meaning that
I'll take it.
Yellow has a very light lead of 25 points to Red's 24. All right, John, are we ready for your pitch?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. You've had more time than anyone else now to prepare for this. So I am expecting something class A. I am expecting something perfect. Can you deliver something
Okay.
perfect?
Absolutely. Always. Have you seen Cuphead Mark of the Killers?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, number 4 on the list.
all
Not
right.
quite perfect, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was perfect at the beginning.
Perfect's in my mind. All right. So, Donkey Kong Reboot. King K. Rool has finally done it. He's framed Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong's been thrown into jail, and Diddy Kong as well. We got both of our guys in jail. It's been months now. They've been trying to get out. They're just waiting for that moment where they can. Then finally, an explosion happens. They have their moment. Funky Kong comes in. He's got the coconut guns. He's got the peanut pistols from Donkey Kong 64. This is a first-person shooter where Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong have to work together and shoot their way out of prison. All bunch of Kremlin guards coming in on them. They have to look down every corridor, every corner. There's just more coming at you. You have to fight your way out so you can get out. It's a pretty simple idea. It's straightforward. It's bloody. These coconuts and peanuts, they're just deadly. The name for this game, of course, is Donkey Kong Banana Slammer.
Donkey Kong Banana Slammer. Okay.
Since he's on my team, I will add, if you pre-order this game, you get a Pog Banana Slammer.
Okay. I appreciate that. I won't count it towards where I'm going to rank it on this list, but I do appreciate that.
Okay, no problem.
Here's the thing. What I appreciate about this pitch is it's actually taking mechanics that already exist within the Donkey Kong universe. We're obviously all familiar with Diddy Kong's peanut pop gun. The Donkey Kong characters as characters that wield firearms is a part of the mythos. It's something that is already intrinsic to the Donkey Kong universe. And I appreciate you basically leaping on that and recognizing that with, a few small tweaks that can become a gritty reboot. All that being said, I feel like you held back just a little bit from perhaps going as dark and as dismal as possible. I mean, Donkey Kong getting stuck in a prison. I feel like there's been a couple of Donkey Kong games up until that point that have, over the years that have involved him going to prison or prison-like levels. That being said, still a very solid pitch overall. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this one underneath Splatoon at the number 2 spot.
I'll take it.
Which means that Red Team is now in the lead with 30 points. All right. For the final 2 pitches, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spice things up. I'm going to allow each team to collaboratively pitch to me whatever it is that they are going to be handed for our final 2 selections. So Mario and Samson, Kyle and John, you can tag team your pitch for how you would gridify whatever it is that you're going to select from the board. So let's go ahead and let's bring the topic selection scene in here. And I am going to go ahead. Mario, John, you guys rock, paper, scissors, choose who you want to choose.
All right, ready?
All right. On 3?
Yes.
All
right.
1, 2, 3. This doesn't work with...
Congratulations.
Doesn't work with the delay, but we'll do it.
You got Patapon.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you just realized, Patapon. All right.
You want Patapon, Mario? You can have Patapon.
No,
this
thank
has
you.
to be collaborative. You both have to contribute a little bit.
Oh, we gotta do... Wait, so even though we're not on teams, we have the...
Oh, wait. Hold on. Sorry, did I misspeak a little bit?
John's my partner.
That's bad on my part. Kyle and John, you two are going to be pitching Patapon. Mario and Samson, you guys are now going to be choosing what you are going to be doing your final collaborative pitch for.
Okay.
Let me know when.
Let's say stop.
Samson, I'll give you the honors.
All right. And stop.
You guys are going to be pitching a gritty reboot of everyone's
I can't even play this game.
Everyone's favorite fitness game, Wii Fit.
Great.
All right. Kyle and John, I want to apologize again. I was unclear when I specified that the two of you were going to be pitching a gritty reboot of Patapon. Are you two ready to pitch your gritty Patapon reboot?
I'm just looking up Patapon because I've never played it.
All right, so everything's just on the fly. We won't have any like planning
Yeah, no,
stages.
that's fine.
Okay.
That's part of the
Let's do
fun.
this.
Okay.
Pre-chatting. Okay.
All right.
Go
Well,
on,
would you
Mario.
would you like me to start, John? I have an
Yeah,
idea.
go ahead. I'll work off of what you go with.
Okay. Oh, let me look up the author of this book.
Oh, okay.
Book.
Whoa.
Oh, book.
Where's this
Yeah,
going?
yeah.
Orson
Okay.
Welles.
You're not too far off. When a lot of us were in high school, I feel like this book that we're basing this gritty reboot of Patapon off of had to read it. Written by William Golding, the story of Lord of the Flies is something that is pretty iconic, where you get an island filled with boys and they're left to run amok and govern themselves. And so this is where we're going to take our story of this Patapon reboot, where each little Patapon figure has its own personality, and you have to fight with all the other Patapons to govern this new island, all in rhythm, right, John?
Yeah, of course. It's we all know that Patapon is a rhythm game, and the rhythm will be to the play of some heavier metal music. The Patapons also have a side to them that if you're not managing this town well enough, they go crazy. They will begin a purge in their own land. They will destroy things and knock everything down. You have to make sure that you are on top of managing their happiness. Otherwise, everything that you've built up to this point is torn down quickly.
Okay.
And if you to add to the happiness, it all is to appease a god. And if you get to negative 50 happiness, the god destroys the island, and it becomes a roguelite where then you get to pick which townspeople you want to bring back to the reboot of the island.
Okay.
So you're starting with new generations every time. And as you keep rebuilding and everything, you see the structures of your past buildings, they get like mossy and decayed and everything. So the reminders of your failed past attempts are still there, but very real.
We would like to call it Patapon Ready to Rock.
Yes.
Patapon ready to rock. I mean, man, a lot going on with this one. A lot of different things going on with this one. You guys said that you barely even knew what Patapon was, but the way that you just went into such exquisite detail describing your vision for this game's gritty reboot, I mean, it's clear that you have a, deep level of love and appreciation for it, especially knowing that Patapon is a rhythm game. All that being said, feel like we've had some slightly better pitches. We've definitely had some slightly worse pitches. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slot this one underneath Cuphead Mark of the Killers, but above NBA 2K dollar.
Hey, we're consistent, John.
Yeah, I'll
We're
take
consistent.
it. Yeah.
All right. Yellow team, are we ready to rock?
Think so.
Samson, do you want to kick this one off, or should I kick this off?
I have a couple ideas, but I can start us off.
All
You want to
right.
start it off? All right, go
It
ahead.
has to do with the peripheral for Wii Fit.
Okay.
So Wii Fit comes with the balance board, which is it's like a little platform that you stand on and balance on, and it weighs you and all that. So for our gritty reboot of Wii Fit, you'll still have the balance board, but surrounding it is a mat of Legos that are about 2 to 3 inches high. So if you ever fall off this balance board, whether you step off or you fall off, you're landing on some nice hard Legos.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
man, those Legos, not only if you step on them, turrets come out of the ground.
Oh, shit.
It gets you have to get back on that board. You got to be able to do all of the different moves that you do on that board. Like, I don't know. And sometimes you have to get off the board. That is the scary part. You actually
That's
have to
true.
get off the board to use the board. So you have to activate the turrets, do the move really quickly, and get right back on. Right? You got to make sure and not only that, there is a time limit. There is a time limit to all of the different techniques. Now, can you do other things with the board? Sure, but it's going to be really hard to get around those turrets. So you're going to have to figure out a way to make that thing work for you. And
Right.
it's
That's
rough.
That's where the fitness part is. You're not
That is
only
true.
working out your balance and your flexibility, but also your flexibility and your dodging skills from all the
Yes.
dangers around you. It's encouraging. It's good reinforcement. I'd also like to add that this Wii Fit is a battle royale. So
Oh,
if you don't make it to the end completing these exercises, kind of like Fall Guys, I guess you just don't make it out alive at all.
Yeah. It's
the
rough
choice.
out there. There's a battle pass system, of course. You can unlock even better confetti with the different turret guns that come out and shoot at you. So, different laser lines or whatever the hell that's called. But yeah,
It's
not ready now.
and also it's in dark mode. Oh, the balance board is black.
Yeah, so you can't really see it.
Yeah,
It's very hard to see.
Yeah. And I think the name I have one name, Mario. You let me know how you think.
No, go for it.
It's called We Fit Will Survive. Like we will survive. But We Fit will survive.
The Wii Fit will survive.
Wii
Free to
Fit
play.
will survive. Almost as good as Venom Let There Be Carnage. Wow. Wow. There is a lot going on in this one. I know I've said that a couple of times for a couple of these pitches, but like this was truly an adventure. You start off and you're like, okay, there are all these Lego pieces around the balance board. I'm like, okay, interesting. I'm kind of wondering, like, are you setting up the Lego pieces around the balance board? Can you potentially like skew it a little bit more in your favor so you have a lot of wiggle room so you don't accidentally step on the Lego pieces? And then just as I'm about to like really like start to pick apart the logistics of that, you're like, oh yeah, and by the way, there are turrets that will pop out of the ground and try to actually physically kill you in real life. That's intense. And then it keeps going. The balance board is black. It's a battle royale. You have the potential to be killed. This one is incredibly elaborate on a level that I was not anticipating. Guys, I think that we have... Oh,
hold on. Can I make an argument really quick?
I mean,
Okay.
sure. I don't know if it'll necessarily sway how I feel, but you certainly can.
Their prompt was for Wii Fit, not the Wii balance board.
Yeah.
And
That's
that was
The game.
pretty much
about
their
the game.
entire pitch was for a peripheral and not a video game.
Well, I mean, yes, but like how many other games do you associate with the balance board? Like I know you could use it when you played like Punch Out and there were like a couple of other games like that, but like the balance board is Wii Fit. I don't think anybody would really deny that, argue with that.
I would.
Well,
I would also say you're bringing in Legos. Like I don't understand this.
I mean, they don't have to be, they're not really called Legos, but we all know they're Legos. They're like the Mega Blocks, like we know you're Legos, but you're for kids. All right. There are kids choking on these things. We got to make sure we can't make them choke on this thing.
Brand agnostic blockchain.
That's the Skylanders game. That's what you got to worry about.
I've thought long and hard about it. And folks, I think that we have a new number 2 slot on the list.
Ooh, let's go.
Let's go.
Which means that now, at the number 1 spot, we have Splatoon. At number 2, we have Wii Fit Will Survive. At number 3, we have Donkey Kong Banana Slammer. At number 4, we have Punch Out TKO. At number 5, we have Frogger Forlorn. At number 6, we have Cuphead, Mark of the Killers. At number 7, we have Patapon, Ready to Rock. At number 8, we have NBA 2K Dollar. At number 9, Skylanders, The Reboot, sponsored by Bad Dragons. And at number 10, we have Wordle, Your Mother is Worried, which even though it's at the number 10 slot, I still do think that pitch, all things considered, was not bad, but there has to be a number 10 no matter how you cut this list. And the current scores are the red team with 30 points and the yellow team with 25 points. But it is still anyone's game because we are heading into round 2. By this point, I can't begin to even fathom how much This game has made you resent your opponents, your teammates, myself, yourself, and the world in its entirety. But reality is that for as much as I like to watch you struggle, I am, at my core, a kind and benevolent host, which is why in this round, I'm going to give each of you guys the opportunity to choose one remaining topic from the board without needing to time out my button thing. And then you will present your pitch on how you would make a gritty reboot out of your selections. And if I like your new pitch enough, I'll rank it on the board. Note that if this happens, whatever's in 10th place and above it will ultimately get displaced off the list in its entirety. So be sure to say your goodbyes to Wordle, Your Mother is Worried when you have the chance. Kyle, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you the chance to choose what topic you want to go with on the list. No strings attached, just choose whatever you want to go with.
For clarification, are John and I pitching this together, or am I soloing this one?
Go ahead and make your selection.
I'm gonna go with My Name is Mayo.
All right. Congratulations. You have chosen My Name is Mayo. Give me just a second. And we will grade that out. All right, perfect. John, you can go ahead and you can choose next.
Banjo-Kazooie.
All right, John has chosen Banjo-Kazooie. All right, Mario, you can choose next.
I'm gonna go with Untitled Goose Game.
All right, Mario has chosen Untitled Goose Game. And last but not least, Samson, you can go ahead and you can choose what you want to choose.
Nintendo Labo, please.
Nintendo Labo. Perfect.
Can't wait for more turrets.
All right. Before I cede the floor to you guys once more, however, there's something that I neglected to mention right at the top of this round. You see, it is true that I said I would give each of you guys the opportunity to choose a remaining topic from the topic board, but I never said who would be presenting said topics, which is why you should be in no way alarmed or betrayed when I announce right here, right now, that Red Team, you guys will be pitching gritty reboots of Yellow Team's 2 selection, and Yellow Team, you guys will be pitching gritty reboots of Red Team's 2 selections.
I thought you said you were kind and malevolent.
Which means, Mario, you will be pitching a gritty reboot of My Name is Mayo. Samson, you will be pitching a gritty reboot of Banjo-Kazooie. Kyle, you will be pitching a gritty reboot of Nintendo Labo. And John, you will be pitching a gritty reboot of Untitled Goose Game. All right. Samson, we ready to roll?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Let's hear it.
So Banjo and Kazooie, typically known as 3D platformers made by Rare. However, there was one game that came out at an awkward time called Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And that game was all about building vehicles and exploring the world and seeing what you can do there. So for Banjo and Kazooie, Nuts and Bombs, this game has you building vehicles, not in a nice lush forest, but rather in a Mad Max themed post-apocalyptic desert where you drive your car around trying to get fuel, which is actually the collectibles in this game, these jerry cans, to be able to expand your vehicle and build your base further and further, which is a departure from what Banjo-Kazooie is known for, but so is the theme of this game, which, like I said, is Mad Max. So you're driving around, shooting guns. There is lots of running over other cars and explosions, as well as stealing cars. You can send Kazooie onto other vehicles and have them take out the driver, and then you as Banjo jump on and take over the car, and now you have 2 vehicles, kind of thing. So lots of vehicular warfare in Banjo and Kazooie. Nuts and bombs.
Okay. Now, here's what I'll say. here's what I'll say right up front. I appreciate that you went the unexpected route of basing this game's gameplay off of Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts. I feel like the average Banjo fan would be like, I don't care about nuts and bolts. I'm going to base something off of Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie, its sequel. The fact that you went with nuts and bolts, kind of an underrated game. Some people say that it didn't get its due back in the day. Other people say, nah, it's kind of deserving of the reputation it got, is really impressive to me. And I feel like you figured out some really innovative and ingenious ways to kind of expand upon its core gameplay. And, part of me does sit here and does wonder if this game were actually to truly be made nowadays, could this potentially actually be pretty popular? Tears of the Kingdom showed that people have a huge appetite for games in which you can construct all manner of weird and bizarre instruments of torture and vehicles of just absolute manslaughter and destruction, just raising everything in your path ahead of you. And so I think that this right here is a surprisingly effective pitch. The one thing I'll say is I was hoping just a little bit more detail when it came to where we're at narratively in this game, where Banjo and Kazooie are at emotionally. But all that said, it's very solid. And I'm going to put this at the number 3 spot underneath We Fit Will Survive.
I will clarify. Nuts and Bolts was the only Banjo-Kazooie game I played when I rented it from Blockbuster.
I mean, hey, fair enough. You went with what you knew. John,
can I give you the name of the game I would have done if I got Banjo-Kazooie?
By all means.
Banjo-Kaboomy.
Also pretty solid. Are you ready to give your pitch for the game you're currently assigned? All right.
Yes. All right. So, Untitled Goose Game. In our new reboot, our gritty reboot, we open with the goose chilling out in its home area. Its little ditch is filled with all the bells it's collected from the nearby town. It's enjoying life. It has wreaked absolute destruction on the nearby neighbors. Little does it know, though, that they've come for revenge. They come in, they beat him down. He's honking for help. He's got no one's there to help him. The bells are gone. They have been spread out all over England, I want to say is where they are. Or like a smaller area, but all over the town in that area. Now it's time for our goose friend to strike back. He's no longer out here just to inconvenience your day. He's now out here for destruction. Instead of trapping kids in telephone booths or anything, he's finding grenades and pulling the pins out of them and throwing them in. He's setting cars on fire. He gets that jerry-rig cannon. He's just, everything's ablaze. He needs his bells back. He is just unstopping until he gets every single one of his bells. The name I have for this game is Goose. Honk if you're sorry.
Goose, honk if you're sorry. Wow. Goose, honk if you're sorry. I'm definitely not wasting time so I can type in the name of this new entry. Man, I mean, Untitled Goose Game, as it were, already a very violent game. A game about just a little gremlin of an animal going around causing mischief, causing strife. If I had to be critical of this pitch, it would be that I actually think that, if anything, you held back a little bit. I feel like you could have gone even more off the deep end. And while certainly our goose is acting more violent than he ever was before, I feel like we could have gone a little bit more violent with this one. That being said, it is still making the list. It is going to go underneath NBA 2K Dollar at the number 10 spot.
Oh no, Bad Dragons.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like that.
sorry, Bad Dragons. Not a bad pitch, but there had to be a winner, there had to be a loser. All right, Mario, are you ready?
Let's go. Well, to sort of summarize what Life of Mayo was, or My Name is Mayo, what that was a game where you, of course, are just clicking on a little jar of mayo, and you're just clicking on, and you're doing, forever, it seems, when you're playing that game. But we want to go with a totally different direction, and I think I got the pitch. And the pitch, of course, here is there's a truck with mayo going down just the highway, right? It's all of a sudden just starts really rainstorming, and a strike of lightning hits this jar of mayo.
Oh shit.
Like, all of a sudden, the mayo is alive, y'all. And he decides, you know what? Now that I have life, I'm going to go live my life as a 16-year-old jar of mayo in the small town in probably the Pacific Northwest, and go to school and just enjoy photography and like just meet up with my friends and like just start living life. And, in life's troubles and tribulations, just going through it. They start having these friends. Their friends are having issues. They're just going through this sort of day in the life of this jar of mayo and just discovering themselves and like making some mistakes and breaking up with people and like, not taking internships what they should have, and then they start all of a sudden, turns out there's another jar of mayo that got struck by lightning, and it's the person that they've been looking for. They're all their lives. Their lives being, of course, the span of when they got struck by lightning. I, of course, want to call this game Life is Mayo. Life is Mayo.
Life is Mayo. I mean, hey, sometimes, the best names are the simplest ones.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And I know I've said that 5 or 6 times by now tonight. But first off, right off the bat, you took a game that has very little to no story at all outside of the little blurbs that you get every now and then when you unlock a couple of trophies. And you figured out a way to inject so much more narrative into it than I ever could have anticipated. Not only that, but you did it while completely transforming what genre of game we're talking about. You turned this game from a kind of clicker style game into a game that just defies explanation, is about the trials and tribulations of a 16-year-old like creature made of mayo. And that's really impressive. Now, I will say this. I was hoping for perhaps a little bit more details when it came to what kind of gameplay we can expect out of this title, what kind of mechanics we can expect out of this title. But all that being said, an impressive pitch.
I have heard you can rewind time in this game. That's what I've heard. I've heard you could do that. I've heard it.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark this one underneath Punch Out TKO at number 6.
Okay. All right. Well, I accept that.
Yeah, I feel bad for Goose Honk If You're Sorry, which is now off the list after just getting on the list just earlier.
Criminally underrated,
but
some would say.
Red Team has one more opportunity right here and right now to regain a little bit of lost ground. Kyle, are you ready with your pitch?
I'm going to try my hardest.
All right. Let's
also,
go.
Mario, to add to your Life is Mayo, add a colon, like a subtitle for you. Life is Mayo, lightning does strike twice.
Shit.
It's nice. It's a love story.
That's a love story. Yeah.
All right. Despite my other pitches where there's some kind of story, right? Nintendo Labo notoriously is just a way for kids to play with cardboard. But in this adults-only version of Nintendo Labo, you can only buy it in sex shops, everybody.
Oh, shit.
Okay? Just say right now, we're getting real gritty here.
Okay, this is automatically within the top 5 on this list.
Kyle, are they next to the new Skylanders? I gotta know.
1000%. They're not sponsored by Bad Dragon though. They're different sponsor. And it comes in different expansion packs, if you will. And each expansion pack is a different part of a body. And what this Nintendo Labo is you are building a companion for yourself. The software itself, you can load different types of personality into it. So if depending on what you are looking for that day, you could just pick a different mode and you'll have a different personality face on the Switch screen as you are building out the human body parts of this Nintendo Labo machine. Some may say you will fall in love. Some states you're allowed to marry it. But this is the Nintendo Labo companionship is what it's called.
Nintendo Labo Companionship.
Yes. Paper cuts, you can't sue for paper cuts. I'm just saying.
You know, as
Wow.
as the resident pansexual, I approve of this toy. It sounds fantastic.
Okay. So here's the thing. When I heard the pitch for Wii Fit Will Survive, I was like, there's no way that you can come up with a pitch that is more bonkers and out there. And then Kyle. I got confused because Mario was the last person.
It happens often. I'm part of 161 Indie. It's all good.
I'm PowerPoint in progress. It's fine.
You started off, Kyle, by talking about the way that this game is distributed. I didn't even think when we first conceived of this episode, oh yeah, we're going to be hearing pitches that get into the details of how you even get the game before you even play it. That right there, the moment I heard that, I was like, oh, we are in for something special. And we were just off to the races from here. You are creating a virtual companion that can service you in all sorts of weird and esoteric ways. My feeble mind cannot comprehend it. Folks, I think that we have a new number 2 on the list.
Whoa now.
Woo! Boy, Kyle.
And with that, we have arrived at the end of round 2. And the number 1 spot, still hanging on, we have Splatoon. At number 2, we have Nintendo Labo Companionship. At number 3, we have Wii Fit Will Survive. At number 4, we have Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bombs. At number 5, we have Donkey Kong, Banana Slammer. At number 6, we have Punch-Out TKO. At number 7, we have Life is Mayo. At number 8, we have Frogger, Forlorn. At number 9, we have Cuphead, Mark of the Killers. And at number 10, we have Patapon, Ready to Rock. Red team currently has 26 points. Yellow team has 29 points. It's very close, but yellow team is currently in the lead. But you need not worry, red team, because we have one last round, and that round is round 3. We all know from experience that the video game industry is constantly changing. A franchise that's all the rage one year will be gone the next, and a genre that once languished in obscurity can become an overnight sensation. And as of recent, one of the most popular video game genres has been a little genre called the roguelike. God of War, The Last of Us, even Splatoon with the upcoming Side Order DLC have all tipped their toes into the sea of rogue, which is why in this round, I'm going to give each team the opportunity to pick one of the opposing team's games that's already on the list and pitch how they would reimagine it as a rogue-like experience. The team that makes the better pitch will take over the slot on the list belonging to the reboot they're basing it off of, and in doing so, usurp its point value. So if you play your cards right, you could completely turn your team's fortunes around and eke out a last-minute victory. So this means, for example, if red team decides to choose Wii Fit Will Survive, and they manage to pitch a reimagining of it as a roguelite that I particularly like, they will take it over. That will become a red slot on the list, and they will earn the amount of points that it's currently valued at. Okay, so with that out of the way, like I said earlier, red team is currently valued at 26 points, so I'm going to go ahead and I will let you guys choose first what yellow team game you want to reimagine as a roguelike.
Question, Cozy. Do we
Yes.
have to stick with what the initial pitch was and just put rogue elements into it?
I mean, I will say this. You can get as wild and as crazy as you want to get, But I will definitely be a little bit more in your favor if you can figure out how to take their initial pitch,
Got
what
it.
you can remember of it, as much as you can remember of it, and figure out how to make it your own while still respecting their original
Got it.
artistic vision.
Okay.
Are we sharing this again, or is this 2 solos?
I leave it up to you. If you feel particularly confident and you want to take the wheel, you can take the wheel. If you guys want to go back and forth, it's up to you. Final round, this is where decisions are made. This is moving day. It's up to you how you want to call this.
John, is there one you're leaning towards?
Yes, I have an idea for Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay, I will follow your lead.
All right. Go right for it.
Okay, so I mentioned earlier my Banjo-Kaboomy name. We're now gonna take that and spin that off into a DLC add-on for Nuts and Bombs. The original game, of course, had a lot of Grand Theft Auto kind of aspect in it, and that, well, of course, first you're building your car and everything, but he also mentioned how you can go out and steal other cars, and you're just kind of driving wherever you go. Now we're bringing in other aspects of Grand Theft Auto into the game. Mumbo Jumbo has been brought into the game, and instead of transforming Banjo like he would in the past, he's only transforming Kazooie into various guns, pistols, rocket launchers, whatever. And it's just the entire time, it's just Banjo driving around, escaping the cops. One of my favorite things in the past in Grand Theft Auto was get a wanted level, see how long I can survive. That's the entire point of this game. You have the entire Jiggy Land, all of the sorry, I'm blanking on their names. The Jinjos. Jinjos are your guys that you're stealing stuff from and you're killing, while various witches and monsters are on your back the entire time chasing you down, and it's just a fight to survive. Kyle, you have anything to add to that?
To add to that, because this is Banjo-Kazooie, from the makers of Rare, we're going to include, it's similar to a game like Rogue Legacy, where when you die, you pick a new character, but in this DLC, you're picking from other Rare game mascots. So you can pick between Conker, you can pick between the Battletoads, and each one of them come with their own unique skills that will help you out in every single one of these runs in this Banjo DLC.
Okay. That's the extent of the pitch.
Yes.
Do we have a name for this specific DLC add-on?
Banjo-Kaboomy.
Banjo-Kaboomy. All right. Fair enough. I appreciate just how elaborate, how in the nitty-gritty we got here with the gameplay details, which I feel is something that perhaps some of the other pitches have been lacking so far. But before we decide whether or not we want to go with this pitch, let's go ahead and let's switch things over to the yellow team. Yellow team, which game are you going to go with?
Strategically, we should go for the Nintendo Labo, right?
That's what I'm thinking as
Now,
well.
keep in mind, because you guys are in the lead, theoretically, you could pitch a Gritty Reboot roguelite DLC expansion of any game on this list and you would still win. So, yes, if you choose Nintendo Labo Championship, you would end the game with even more points than you already have right now. But you could also be strategic and be like, well, let's go with one of the lesser rated ones. But it's up to you.
Got it.
I do kind of have an idea for Nintendo Labo.
Yeah.
Unless you got a better one for another one of the other.
No, I mean that was my mind's eye, and I'll let you go ahead and start it off, and then we'll go from there.
We'll take Nintendo Labo.
All right. Let's hear it.
So for this roguelite, it still does involve building adult toys for entertainment. However, you are now running a sex shop and in this universe, and you still have to build your cardboard toys as you play, but you also have to adapt to what the customers are coming in with. So maybe a customer comes in and says, I want a 3-headed bad dragon. Now you have to figure out how to build that with cardboard to satisfy their needs. And it's a roguelike because if you can't keep up with these demands, your store closes. You don't make enough profit for the day or the week.
That's right. You have to maintain the keep it up meter, which of course is this white meter that is on the side of the screen at all times. And the only way to keep it going is you have to keep building out what the customers needs and their wants, really. And as you progress and move on to the different stages, of course, there are different bonuses that happen in different difficulties that will then have you go this like sort of an XP modifier. But you have to keep doing it, otherwise, you lose your run. You got to start all over, and then nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. You don't want the actual like posting goes blue if that happens. You don't want that. You don't want that. You want to make sure you keep it up.
Yes.
And then with that, I pass it back on to you. I mean, what else do you think?
You get, speaking of the multiplier, you get extra points for finishing your supply for the day, as well as you lose points if you get right close to the edge and don't finish. That's called edging. We don't want that. Unless, I don't know. Unless maybe you get the specific customer who's into that.
Yeah, unless you get the Christian edition. There's that one.
Ooh.
That one, if you need it, there's a high school, sex education version. We have different versions. We're bringing it back. Like Rock Band had like the Beatles version, or Just Dance have like Justin Bieber version. We're gonna have different versions for everybody.
Yes. So they work like expansion packs. You buy the extra piece of cardboard. Pack and work around that. So I guess we would have to name it Nintendo Labo
Sex roguelike. Sexy roguelike.
Nintendo Labo Sexy Roguelite Edition.
Christian edition. Christian edition.
There's many names. And we have to keep it clear for the customer because we are selling a product here just like that.
True.
Well. That is quite the pitch. Now, there's a lot that I like about this pitch. I like the idea of you guys incorporating multiple versions of this expansion pack, which I feel is sort of uncharted territory. Obviously, we're all very familiar with the Pokemon games, the Yokai Watch games having multiple different versions of them, but like multiple different versions of a roguelite expansion pack. I mean, that is innovation right there. There was a lot going on with this pitch. I feel like it started a little milquetoast, but I feel like the more and more you added onto it, the more and more bonkers it became. And I mean, the idea of you're working in this sex shop and you're trying to make customers happy is, of course, something that, everybody can relate to. And I think that's very valuable. Oh, man. We have two
really gonna give
really good
points
pitches.
to the one that just advertised giving a sex game to high school kids.
Hey, make
The
sure
underage edition.
Make sure they know. I don't know about that. That one is you bought that. That was a import from somewhere that you don't want to find out. All right.
That's from Temu. That's the Temu
That's
edition.
the Temu version.
So here's the thing. I thought long and hard about which one. I didn't even intend the pun there. Didn't even intend it. I thought long about which one I want to go with. And as I mulled both of them over in my head, I realized, while both were truly excellent in their own ways, I feel like the Banjo-Kazooie Kaboomy one did a slightly better job of conveying a sense of spatiality, of conveying a sense of you traveling through a series of rooms. The Nintendo Labo Championship had some very interesting gameplay conceits, but I didn't really get this sense of like, oh, you're traveling through a series of rooms, through a series of dungeons, through a series of whatever. For all I know, you're sitting at the same counter assembling your weird sexualized Labo creations all ding dong day. And that, I don't know, doesn't sit super right with me. And so I think that I'm going to have to hand it over to Red Team. I am turning Banjo-Kazooie into Banjo-Kazooie Kaboomy, and with that, Red Team wins the game with 33 points, and Yellow Team has 22.
Yeah. Good job, Kyle.
Congratulations.
Great job, John.
Well played. Close.
Well played.
And with that, we have arrived at the end of tonight's installment of Pitch Perfect. Remember that this production is part of a series of monthly rotating shows we do, and that you can enjoy new installments of this show a month early if you subscribe to us over on Patreon, over at patreon.com/respawnaimfire. We deeply appreciate your support and encourage any feedback you might have on how to make these productions even better. Guys, thank you so much for being such fantastic contestants this evening. We're going to go around the room clockwise, and I will give you the opportunity to take the floor and pitch whatever it is that you're currently working on, plug wherever it is that people can find you. Just talk about anything you want to talk about. Kyle, go right ahead.
Oh boy, I'm Mr. K-Step pretty much everywhere on the interwebs. I am one of the hosts of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, a weekly PlayStation podcast where we just celebrate not only PlayStation, but just video games in general. If you want to catch all the latest and greatest in indie game coverage, go check out 6-1 Indie. We're putting on our fourth indie game showcase, a la an E3 presentation on March 20th in the 6-1 Indie Showcase. So go check it out on youtube.com/6-1indie. And as of the recording today, we just announced we're going to be doing our own Indie Game Awards later this year. So follow us on all the socials to keep up to date on that stuff. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Awesome sauce. Mario?
Of course, yes, you can find me at that Mario Rivera pretty much everywhere. That you mostly will find my Twitter or X handle, however you want to prefer it. You can also find me at Point in Progress, where we do our podcasts over there, our live streams, and sometimes we do some gaming. Definitely please check out our content as we continue to build. We have some new stuff happening this year, so definitely excited for people to see that.
Perfecto.
We look forward to that. Yeah.
Samson?
Hey everybody, my name is Samson. You can find me online at SamsonXP on all the socials. I also do a podcast called Grow Up Level Up at Grow Up Level Up on all the socials. And on that podcast, I talk to folks about the fun and games that help them grow up, as well as the fun and games that they choose to partake in today. And I talk to gamers, non-gamers, hobbyists, and just people, how people integrate fun and having a relaxing time on games or not into their day-to-day lives. So check it out, growuplevelup.com.
All right. And John?
On Twitter, I am at Rivek Shadows, and I am co-founder of GameSandwich.com, a indie journalist site that covers news, guides, features, reviews, all that stuff. So you can check that out if you want. This week, we put up a review for Mario vs. Donkey Kong, so go check that out.
Cool, cool, cool. And of course, you can find me over on Twitter at Alex Gazina. And with that, we'd like to thank you once again for tuning in to Respawn Aim Fire, and we will see you next time.